What if the secret to getting stronger after 60 isn't pounding the pavement, but what you do from a sturdy living room chair? I know, it sounds upside down. But here's the surprising truth. Targeted chair-based strength work can build muscle, sharpen balance, and ease joints more efficiently than casual walking alone. And you can do it while watching your favorite show. Today, I'll walk you through 5 chair movements, from simple to, wow, I can't believe I can do that, including the one I consider the single best predictor of staying independent. Along the way, you'll learn the tiny form cues that turn everyday motions into powerful results. How to lower slowly to spark muscle growth, how to aim your nose over your toes to protect your knees, and how a small ankle move can wake up your don't fall reflexes. Stay with me to the end, because I'm closing the loop on how to stack these into a 20-minute routine that fits into real life, even if stairs feel stubborn and your knees talk back some days. Let's bust a myth first. Walking is wonderful for heart health and mood, and I want you to keep it if it feels good. But walking by itself doesn't load your hips, thighs, and upper body enough to rebuild the strength and power that help you stand from low chairs, climb steps, and catch yourself if you trip. That's where chair training shines. We'll use slow, controlled movements to create time under tension, the safe, steady stress that tells muscle, bone, and balance systems to wake up again. You don't need heavy equipment, fancy clothes, or a lot of space. You do need a sturdy chair that doesn't roll, shoes with traction, and your attention. If pain, not normal muscle effort, shows up, you'll stop, adjust, or skip that move. Ready? I'll start with your thighs, because stronger thighs mean steadier steps and happier knees. Sit tall with your back supported and both feet planted under your knees. We're doing seated leg extensions. Think of shining a flashlight from your kneecap straight ahead. Without shifting your trunk, slowly straighten your right knee until your lower leg is level with the floor or as high as comfortable. Then pause. Pull your toes gently toward your shin at the top. That little toe toward shin action lights up the muscles along your shin and ankle, which help your brain know exactly where your foot is in space. Lower back down just as slowly. Your tempo is your superpower here. 3 seconds up, 2-second pause, 3 seconds down. Breathe out as you lift. Breathe in as you lower. Keep your knees in line with your hips, not knocked in, not splayed wide. Switch legs. Start with 8 to 12 smooth reps per side, 2 to 3 rounds, resting about half a minute between rounds. If it feels easy and your form stays crisp, you can add light ankle weights later, but you don't need them to benefit. This move strengthens the big thigh muscles that stabilize your knees and improve walking confidence. A few common fixes make leg extensions safer and more effective. First, keep your ribs knit down and your chest soft so you're not arching your lower back to help the lift. If your thigh or hip flexor grips, consciously relax the front of your hip and focus the effort in the meat of your thigh above the knee. Second, watch your tempo. Most people fling the leg up and drop it. The muscle magic lives in the slow lowering. Third, your toes. Pull them toward your shin at the top, then relax as you lower. This toggling sharpens ankle control that helps prevent stumbles. If knee pain shows up, reduce your range of motion, pad the edge of the chair, or slide a small folded towel under the working thigh for comfort. If your hip flexor fatigues, scoot your bottom slightly forward so your back rests against the chair and keep the lift below parallel. Over the next few weeks, track your total controlled reps. When you can do 3 tidy sets on each leg with steady breathing and 0 knee grumble, you're ready to progress. Either a hair more range, a slower lower, or light ankle resistance. Let's turn to your core. The deep corset that supports your spine, steadies your balance, and makes daily twisting safe. Sit toward the front of your chair so your back isn't touching. Feet hip width, heels pressing into the floor like you're trying to leave footprints. Grow tall through the crown of your head and lean back slightly until you feel your abdominal wall switch on. Not a collapse, a proud, long spine. Bring your hands together at chest height as if you're holding a small ball. Now rotate your rib cage and shoulders as one unit toward the right, keeping your hips facing forward. Pause. Breathe out softly as if blowing out birthday candles, then return to center and rotate left. Move like you're turning a heavy steering wheel. Deliberate, smooth, and quiet in the lower body. Aim for 10 to 12 twists each way, 2 or 3 rounds. Keep your range small at first. No pinching, no strain. If you want more challenge, extend your arms a bit farther from your chest or hold a light object like a water bottle. If you have a history of spine issues, osteoporosis, or rotational pain, stay in a gentle range or switch to an anti-rotation hold. Press your palms together at midline and try not to let your torso turn while you breathe. A strong, responsive core changes everything. How you get out of bed, how you reach into the back seat, how secure you feel if the dog tugs the leash. The key with seated twists is quality. Keep the movement in your rib cage rather than cranking your shoulders around your neck. Imagine your spine is a stack of coins. You're turning the whole stack, not bending it. Exhale on the twist to engage the deep stabilizers, then inhale on the return. If your hip flexors try to dominate, press your heels down a little harder and think of zipping up a gentle belly corset from pubic bone to belly button. Micro progressions beat big leaps. Add 2 total twists per session, or hold the end position for a 1 count, then a 2 count. If your lower back feels tired, finish with a reset. Sit tall, place one hand on your lower ribs, the other on your belly, and take 3 slow breaths into your sides, expanding the lower ribs like an umbrella. Those who prefer not to twist can train the same muscles with a Pallof press variation. Hold a light band anchored to your side and press your hands forward, resisting the pull without rotating. Now for a powerful 2-for-1 that carries directly into everyday life, the seated curl to press. Sit tall with feet planted and your midsection gently braced like you're about to say, shh. Hold a weight in each hand. A pair of light dumbbells, water bottles, or soup cans work perfectly. Let your arms hang at your sides with palms facing forward. Without swinging, curl the weights toward your shoulders, keeping your elbows tucked near your ribs. Pause with your wrists straight, then rotate your palms to face forward and press the weights up overhead. Reach for the ceiling without shrugging your shoulders into your ears. Think, shoulder blades slide down and back. Lower back to shoulder height with control. Rotate palms in, then slowly uncurl to the start. That's 1 smooth, continuous rep. Try 8 to 12 tidy reps, 2 or 3 rounds. Breathe out as you press. Breathe in as you lower. The goal is not to move the heaviest objects you own. It's to groove safe mechanics that let you load shelves, put on a jacket without a twinge, and lift a grandchild with confidence. A few coaching cues will keep your shoulders happy. Imagine there's a soft tennis ball under each armpit. Don't crush it as you curl. This keeps your elbows from flaring and protects the front of the shoulder. At the top of the press, think long neck, soft ribs. Avoid arching your back or thrusting your chest to chase height. If you feel pinchiness in the front of your shoulder, switch to a neutral grip press with palms facing each other. Press slightly forward of your ears instead of straight overhead, or reduce your range so you stop before discomfort. If a full press isn't available, do the curl alone for a week or 2 to build control, or press one arm at a time while the other stays parked at shoulder height. Choose a load that feels moderately challenging by the last 2 reps while your form stays clean. You can always start lighter and repeat the set. Over time, the subtle habit of gently squeezing your shoulder blades toward your back pockets during the press helps counter that all too common forward slump and can ease neck tension. Let's get your whole system, legs, hips, core, arms, and brain, firing together with seated marching. Sit toward the front of your chair, feet under your knees, spine long. Lightly hinge forward from your hips so your chest is proud, but your back isn't arched. Press your left foot into the floor as you lift your right knee toward your chest. Only lift as high as you can without leaning back. Lower with control, then switch. Press right foot down, lift left knee. Let your arms move in a natural cross pattern. Left arm forward when right knee lifts, right arm forward when left knee lifts, like you're power walking. Keep your ankles awake by pulling toes toward your shin as the knee rises, then relaxing them as the foot returns. Aim for a steady, rhythmic pace, about 1 lift per second, focusing on precision over speed. Start with 1 to 3 minutes, rest, and repeat for 2 to 4 rounds. This contralateral rhythm builds coordination, raises your heart rate gently, and teaches your body to stabilize one side while the other moves, the essence of real-world balance. If you prefer more challenge, loop a light resistance band around your thighs above the knees and press out gently as you march. You can fine-tune seated marching to meet your day. Want more leg work? Pause at the top of each march for a 2 count and imagine you're putting a stamp on the ceiling with your knee. Want more core? Lean a breath's width farther forward from the hips and press your opposite heel into the floor as if corkscrewing it down. Want more upper body involvement? Hold a small pillow between your hands and keep it at chest height while you pump your arms, or squeeze a soft ball with the hand opposite the lifting knee. Monitor your effort with a simple talk test. You should be able to speak in short phrases. If you can't, slow down. If you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or unusually breathless, stop and rest. For those managing blood pressure or on certain medications, rise gradually after marching and sip water. If hips feel cranky, lower the height of each lift and focus on the heel press of the opposite foot. No band, a folded towel looped around the thighs, can give you a gentle press-out cue to wake up your hip stabilizers. Over weeks, lengthen your work intervals or add 1 extra set to nudge your endurance upward. Before we unveil the grand finale, a quick favor that helps more people age with strength and confidence. If this is helpful, take a moment to subscribe to Senior Vitality Pro and tell me your age or where you're watching from in the comments. I read them and shape future topics around your needs, and it's a joy to tailor these sessions to the real lives behind the screen. Now, the linchpin. Chair squats, also called sit-to-stands. If you only added 1 move to your week, I'd choose this one. It trains your biggest engines, thighs, hips, and glutes, teaches your core to brace, and rehearses the exact pattern you use to get up from couches, toilets, and car seats. Start by sitting on a sturdy chair that puts your knees roughly at right angles when feet are flat. Place your feet about hip-width apart and slightly tucked, so your heels sit just behind your knees. Cross your arms over your chest if you can. Extend them forward for balance if you prefer. Here's the golden cue. Lean forward from your hips until your nose is over your toes. That shifts your center of mass, so your knees don't take the brunt. Press your heels into the floor and push the ground away. Stand up tall, squeezing your glutes at the top without locking your knees. Now lower slowly, 3 to 4 seconds, by sending your hips back and down, keeping your chest proud and your knees tracking over the middle of your feet. Touch the chair lightly, then rise again. Try 6 to 10 reps to start, 2 or 3 rounds. Quality beats quantity on chair squats. Your knees should follow the direction of your toes, not collapsing inward, not rolling out excessively. If your knees complain, slide your feet a touch wider, elevate the seat with a cushion, or shorten the range so you touch and rise without fully sitting. If standing without using your hands isn't there yet, that's okay. Place your hands lightly on the chair or thighs for a small boost, or hold the sides of the chair to guide your balance. Over time, reduce the help. Fingertips only, then hands hovering. A powerful progression is to pause for 2 counts just above the chair before rising. That pause removes momentum and builds true control. When you're moving well, you can lower the seat by removing the cushion, or hold a light weight close to your chest to counterbalance and build strength. Breathe out as you stand. Breathe in as you lower. If you feel the work all in your thighs, shift a whisper more weight toward your heels and pack your hips back on the descent. That tiny hip hinge shares the load with your glutes and eases the knee. Let's tie these moves together into a simple routine. Warm up for 3 minutes. Gentle ankle circles, slow marching in place while seated, and 2 rounds of stand and resit using your hands. Then, seated leg extensions, 2 to 3 sets, seated twists, 2 sets, curl to press, 2 sets, seated marching intervals, 2 to 4 short bouts, and chair squats, 2 to 3 sets. Sprinkle 1 rest minute between sets as needed. Enough to breathe easy, but not long enough to cool completely. Total time, about 20 minutes. Do this 3 to 5 days per week, alternating with light walks, easy bike rides, or pool time if those feel good. If you like micro workouts, break it up. Leg extensions with morning news, marching during a show, squats at the top of each hour. Habit hooks matter. Put a sticky note on the remote that says nose over toes, or set a gentle timer labeled Move Snack. When energy is low, pick just 2 moves and do 1 set each. Momentum loves a modest beginning. Pain versus productive effort is an important line. Expect a pleasant warmth in the working muscles, and perhaps a light burn in the last 2 reps. That's effort. Stop if you feel sharp, stabbing, or joint line pain, if something catches your breath or makes you wince, or if discomfort lingers beyond a day in a way that limits your normal activities. For achy knees, prioritize the slow lowering phase. Keep your shins more vertical on squats and avoid sudden plops into the chair. For cranky lower backs, keep your spine long, hinge from the hips, and avoid twisting through pain. Choose the anti-rotation hold instead. For sensitive shoulders, maintain a neutral press path with palms facing each other and stop before pinch points. Breathe steadily. Don't hold your breath, especially during presses and squats. If you manage blood pressure, pelvic floor concerns, or have had recent surgery, get a personalized OK for these patterns and emphasize exhaling through effort. That gentle exhale helps manage internal pressure and keeps things comfortable. Let's zoom out to what supports your progress. Muscles are built in the recovery between sessions, fed by protein, sleep, and hydration. Aim to include a protein source at each meal. Beans, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu, chicken, or lean meat, alongside colorful produce and whole grains you enjoy. Sip water throughout the day. A glass before and after your session is a friendly routine. Sleep is your silent strength coach. A consistent bedtime and a cool, dark room can make these workouts feel easier. Caregivers, you matter here too. If you're supporting a parent or partner, consider setting up a movement station. A sturdy chair, a light band, a couple of water bottles for weights, and a small checklist. Offer companionship rather than correction. Moving together beats nagging every time. And please, celebrate non-scale wins. The day you get out of a low sofa without hands, the first time the groceries feel lighter, the moment you notice your posture in a window and smile. Progress tracking keeps motivation alive. Keep a simple log. Date, which moves you did, sets and reps, and 1 note about how it felt. Circle any personal victories, stood up from the garden bench, carried laundry upstairs without stopping, no knee twinge on the 2nd set. Every 2 weeks, test a gentle benchmark. Time how many sit-to-stands you can do in 30 seconds with good form, or see how long you can hold tall posture during a set of controlled twists without fatigue. Watch the number creep up or the movement feel easier, and let that reinforce your consistency. If you stall, don't panic. Bodies don't change in straight lines. Tweak 1 variable, slow your lowering, add a 2-second pause, or add 1 rep to only the first set. If life gets busy, do a minimum effective session. 1 set each of leg extensions, curl to press, and chair squats. 5 minutes still counts. You might be wondering, Can chair work really beat walking for fall prevention and independence? Here's the nuance. Walking is fantastic for cardiovascular health, mood, and joint lubrication. But most falls happen during transitions, standing up, turning, reaching, stepping off a curb, not during straight-line walking. Chair training drills those exact transitions under control. You practice leaning forward safely, using your hips to stand, controlling the descent, rotating without strain, and lifting your feet with ankle awareness. As those patterns sharpen, your "I've got this" reflex returns. Many people find aches ease because stronger muscles share the load with cranky joints. Over weeks, confidence blooms. You'll notice steadier steps, easier stairs, and less hesitation when you pivot in the kitchen or reach into the closet. It's not about choosing walking or chair work. It's about stacking them so each supports the other and supports you. Let's troubleshoot a few sticking points. If your knees cave inward on squats, place a light band above your knees and press gently outward as you stand. Just enough tension to keep the knees tracking over the middle toes. If your heels pop up, scoot your feet slightly forward and think, hips back first, or place a thin book under the balls of your feet to remind your heels to stay anchored. If you feel unsteady standing, park the chair near a counter or sturdy table so you can hover a hand for reassurance without relying on it. If your wrists complain during curls and presses, keep your wrists straight and imagine the weight resting in the cradle of your palm rather than your fingers. If fatigue hits your hip flexors during marching, lift lower and focus on pressing the opposite heel down. That opposition is where the magic lives. Remember, smooth breath, patient tempo, and clean alignment beat brute force every time. For those who love a challenge, here are thoughtful progressions. On leg extensions, add a light ankle weight or a slow 5-count lower. On twists, extend your arms farther or add a 3-second pause at end range while maintaining a long spine. On curl to press, try a brief isometric hold at shoulder height before each press, or press alternating arms to challenge your stability. On marching, add a gentle press out against a looped band around your thighs to wake up your outer hips, or march to a metronome to improve rhythm. On chair squats, reduce your seat height by removing the cushion, move to a lower chair, or try a staggered stance squat. One foot slightly ahead, one slightly back, switching sides each set. Eventually, practice a supported single leg sit to stand. Tap one heel forward, shift into the other leg, and stand using the chair back lightly for balance. These steps are optional, never forced, and mastery at each level is a win on its own. If you've been told, just walk more, but it hurts, bores you, or hasn't moved the needle, consider this your permission to try a different door. Strength is the currency of independence at every age. Chair training gives you the best of both worlds: controlled environment, low joint stress, and movements that mirror the tasks you most want to keep doing. Picture this: rising from a low patio chair without bracing your hands, turning to greet a friend without wobbling, carrying a bag of groceries from car to counter with shoulders relaxed and head high. That's what we're building. One slow lowering, one tall breath, one solid rep at a time. Which everyday task has become trickier for you over the years? Standing from soft seats, twisting to reach, or climbing a few steps? And if you're a walker, would you be open to layering in these chair moves 3 or 4 days a week to see how you feel? Here's a gentle 4-week outline to get you rolling. Week 1, 2 rounds of each movement, light and easy, learning form. Week 2, add a 3rd round to the 2 exercises you enjoy most. Week 3, introduce a pause, 2 seconds at the top of leg extensions, at the end of twists, just above the chair on squats. Week 4, lengthen 1 marching interval and add 1 rep to the first set of squats. Keep your rest generous and your breathing smooth. On non-chair days, take a relaxed walk, stretch your calves and hips, and do a handful of easy sit-to-stands spread through the day. If a day goes sideways, smile and start where you are the next day. Consistency is kinder than perfection, and your body responds to kindness. Before we close, a quick word about joint signals and when to seek guidance. New strength work can make muscles feel pleasantly worked for a day or two. That's normal. What's not normal is swelling, warmth, persistent sharp pain, or new numbness or tingling. Those are pause and ask signs. If you have a recent joint replacement, significant osteoporosis, uncontrolled blood pressure, or a fresh injury, get personalized advice on these movements. A single session with a physical therapist can be gold. You'll walk away with adjustments tailored to your body, foot position, seat height, breath cues that unlock comfort and progress. And if something simply doesn't feel right to you, honor that voice. There are always alternatives that reach the same goal. Let's bring this home. We started with a counterintuitive idea that you can reclaim strength, balance, and confidence from a chair. You learned how slow, controlled work beats mindless repetitions, how a toe toward shin cue sharpens your don't fall system, how a gentle exhale on the twist recruits deep core, how curling and pressing with clean scapular movement helps you put things overhead pain-free, and how nose over toes and a patient lowering transforms sit-to-stands into the engine of independence. The routine takes about 20 minutes, needs only a chair and household items, and fits neatly between scenes or during a commercial break. The payoff? More ease in your day, less fear of falling, and a steadier, prouder you. I'll leave you with a friendly challenge. During your next TV break, try 5 chair squats with the nose over toes cue and a 3-second lowering. Then add a minute of seated marching with that cross-body arm swing. Notice how your body feels, awake, warm, a little taller. If it helps, make it your evening ritual. And tell me in the comments, are you team walking, team chair, or ready to be team both? I'm cheering for you, and I can't wait to hear which move surprised you most.